Hi everyone, it's Helen here and thank you very much for joining me for the very first Simply Made Sunday Christmas in July. I'm so excited. So today we're going to be using a die set that creates this beautiful cantilever box. Now I have a very basic, straightforward, simple tutorial already for how to pop this die set together to make this box, and I will link that down below. But it's got a lovely tray at the bottom and these top two boxes at the top open, so there's loads of room there for lots of treats and goodies. So I'd be filling this with chocolate coins and chocolate snowmen and all that stuff that you can get in those little net bags and things like that. So I absolutely love that. But this die set does come with these boxes that you can use as separate items. So I have two here ready for our project for today, so we're going to be putting together one more, but you can use these as a standalone gift box as well. I love this, I really do. It's a really simple box. It cuts it all out all in one go. All you have to do is add glue in four places, and there you have your box put together. And I've simply decorated it with this die set here, which is from last year, the Christmas Words die set. It does come with a large tag die, but that's too big for this box. So we're going to be making a book box today. So I have my my two boxes here. We're going to make a third one, and then we're going to make a wrap to make our book. If you want to make it just simply out of cardstock, you can do as well, and just make sure if you make it out of cardstock that you layer it up really nicely with some mirror card and some patterned papers. So here is the die set. Cantilever box die set. Again, this has extra accessories here, so we have a toolbox and sewing themed items as well. So as it's a cantilever box, it can be for those too, but we're making a lovely Christmas version. And if you are spying these poinsettias and these little bits of foliage here, you're getting a little sneak peek of my brand new Christmas collection that is out in just a few weeks time. So you've got your first little sneak peek there. So let's jump straight in. I'm going to be using some mirror card here. This one is holly green. Let's grab the die. I'm going to be using this one here. This one makes the tray. Again, you can make another project just using the tray and the handle to make a little basket. So this die set is so versatile, and you'll also be needing a large format machine. So let's get that cut out. Right, there's enough room here. There isn't enough room to die cut two at the same time because you're losing a little bit of space there, but you have a really nice leftover piece here like I have here. So always keep these, put them back in the packet. Okay, so that has cut everything out. It's got all of the score lines, so all you have to do is just press those down. Use a bone folder just to get you some really nice lines there, and I will link everything that I'm using down below. Okay, so we do have these holes here. This is so that we can attach it to our cantilever moving parts, but you can cover them up quite easily. And all of the measurements for these mats here I will put down in the description box, plus they'll be on my website. The project for that will be linked down below as well, where everything will be in one place. You do get the mats here for the top though. So I'm just going to add glue just to these tabs here. I'm going to have to be really careful because it's a mirror cardstock and things can kind of smoosh about. So if you're more comfortable using some red tape or something like that, then use red tape. I'm just going to go for it, and if I do get any squidgy bits going where it shouldn't go, then I can just kind of just rub it slightly with my nail, and that should remove it. A little bit like a scratch card, I guess. That's kind of the best way I can explain it, the way the glue kind of dries on the mirror cardstock. So let's pop these together. So in the description, sorry, in the comments section, I would love to know what little boxes you would use these for. Would they be for like table favours for the Christmas table? Would you make 25 of these and add numbers on to make an advent calendar? Again, doesn't have to even be for Christmas. These will make perfect little other gift boxes and favours for little dinner parties. I'm trying to keep my fingers clean there. I just dabbed myself in there, so I'm just trying my best to keep my fingers clean, because the cleaner your fingers are, the less likely you are to kind of spread the glue about. So there we go. There is our last one. If it helps, keep a little baby wipe aside as well, just to wipe your fingers on. That's a really good tip actually, especially if you're stamping and using ink as well and you're likely to get any on your fingers. Okay, that is our box done. I'm not going to pop it all together just yet. I'll do a quick dry run just to show you it does go in there, but I just want all the edges to dry. Now let's work on our book. Okay, so I'm going to be using some grey board. It can go by the name of chipboard, and I will give you some measurements, but again they're all going to be written down for you, so you can just sit back, relax, grab yourself a favourite drink and watch, feel all festive. So this measures 3 1/4 by 8 inches, and you need 2 of those, and this one measures 1 5/8 and 8 inches, and I'm going to be using my bookbinding toolkit, so it's basically just a book cover we're going to be making. And let's grab our cardstock, and I think I'm also going to use some reinforcing paper just to add some strength as well. Okay, so here is the reinforcing paper. It's basically going to reinforce the spine joins here. When we open and close a book, these places can become a weak point. So I have cut this to 4 inches by 8 inches, and it's basically adds strength. As you can see, I can't tear it, but you can cut it and you can use a trimmer on it and cut it to size. So these are also available at Craft Stash. These are selling really well on their own, and I'm not even advertising them, so there is a really good steady flow of these being sold, so I know that people are enjoying those. Okay, so let's pop this on now. So I'm going to use my glue for this. You can use double-sided tape if you want to. Whoop. And again, you can use glue on the reinforcing paper. And again, this is a step that you can skip if you really want to. There we go. I'm just going to get rid of any smooshes that have come out. Again, that's where that baby wipe comes in handy. Okay, next stage. These are going to be popped onto here and here, but I'm just going to add glue just to this section here because we're going to use our spacers. So I'm just going to go straight up to there. There we go. Again, use red tape if you have the time. I'm just quickly demonstrating this, but I know because I'm using glue it is going to set and dry quite nicely. Okay, let's grab our tools. So you're going to be needing the T-bar, the T-tool, and the straight one. There we go. There's 2 widths on this one, so we're going for the wider one because we've got some thick cardstock here. Now this is what's going to give you the perfect spacing. Now you've seen me demonstrate this a few times already if you are not new, but if you are new, this is the perfect album making toolkit for when you're making your mini albums and books. But I'm using it for today's project because it is sort of like a book cover that we're making. There we go. So I did use the T-tool for both of those, but if you want to keep that in the same place there and use that one, you can do it that way as well. move those aside. Right, let's work on our cover. I'm using some gorgeous red cardstock here. Again, that's linked down below. This is quite thick, and we're going to be using just some red tape on here just to join these together. I want the center join line to be on the spine, so we're going to do the offcuts all the way around because that's going to be too large for us to wrap it that way. So the easiest thing to do is just to join two pieces of card together, or if you're using patterned paper, just join those together. I think a 12 by 12 might be okay for this size. So if you have a 12 by 12 piece of card, then you shouldn't need to do this stage. I need to degunk these scissors. Let's chop that off again. Okay, press that down. The bone folder would be better than running your finger down it. There we go, that pushes all of the air bubbles out and then pushes the adhesive right into the cardstock. And then using the top as a guide to get it straight. And then the bottom as well, because the tape is all the same width. And there we go, we can add that together. Bone folder again, so that presses them both together now right into the cardstock. There we go. Do the other side. A lovely join there. Okay, so now we're ready to pop this in, and I am actually going to use some double-sided tape here. I'm just going to glue down these sections. Actually, I think that might be alright actually. Let's use some double-sided tape. I will link this down below. And I know I do have another roll of this actually. We're coming right to the end of this roll. We are. And then I like to use a ruler just to cut that. Let me grab my next roll. Here you are, my fresh roll. I haven't dropped it on the carpet yet. You know what I mean. If you've not dropped this or something like this on the carpet before, then it comes back a bit furry. Okay, there's a little bit of an overlap here. I might just be able to just get this down. I'm careful. Oh yes, there we go. There we go, that brings me joy. Right, let's get this squished down. In the toolkit you also get this white squeegee thing, and we just run that across. Same concept of pushing everything down into the fibres. Now let's get all these lifted. Pokey tool does help. I've recently moved over to this pokey tool here by Sizzix. I absolutely love this one, purely because of the fact that it's got a lid. There you go, nice and safe. My other one didn't, so it was a bit of a hazard there whether you're going to get yourself with it. Kind of Russian roulette pencil pop. I'm going to have to do something about this section here. Right, let's get that glued down because it is sticky on the top side. Oh no, it's stuck to itself. I'm just gonna fix this. I'm not gonna edit this out. You can watch me fix something. I'm trying not to glue it to myself. I'm gonna remove that section completely because that bit was just on the end of the roll there. I'm just gonna add glue. There we go. Right, let's get this down, and I'm going to use the next tool. Here we go. This is a lovely little L shape, but it's going to give me the space at the bottom here that I need to get this straight, and I also want the center of the spine to carry that join. Okay, so once you're happy with that, I'm going to turn it over, and then I'm going to pop it down. There we go. Might be slightly wonky, but that is fine. I can live with that because we're going to be covering up the spine with some papers. Okay, so let's get the rest of this chopped up. So you can go around and use a craft knife with this. Just keep going around like that. That will give you the distance. I'm going to show you another way. I like to give you little bits of options here and there. I'm going to use my paper trimmer. I'm just going to shove it in there and do it that way. I've got my spacing at the bottom here. Now this is the Craft Stash paper trimmer, and I'm just going to more or less eyeball it. I've got this end here at the 1 inch here. Is that the cutting? No, that's the scoring. That's the cutting one. I'm going to do the same on the other side, and then hope it fits in the other way as well. So let's do the next one. Doesn't have to be perfectly even either. Yeah, we've got loads of room for that. The only thing you need to make sure is that your edge here is not too short or not wide enough. If it's anything slimmer than this, then it's going to struggle to it will wrap around, but it's going to want to lift up. You're going to have a bit of trouble trying to get that to stay down. Okay, bone folder, go around all these edges here. Sometimes I forget to demonstrate this part, but it really does help in wrapping your pieces. There we go. And then I'm going to add some red tape. Red tape will really help, but I'm also going to use glue as well. So I'm not going right up to the corners because I don't need to, because we're going to be trimming the corners off. So you'd only be losing a little bit of tape, but you'll be losing more tape if you go right up to the corners. I really need to degunk my scissors. Oh, I have some surgical spirit, so I'm just going to have to get the kitchen towel out. Okay, bone folder again, press everything down. There we go. I'm just going to grab myself a cutting mat. This may mess around with the white balance a little bit. No, that's all right, it's not too bad. Okay, so grab yourself a craft knife. This is Creative Craft Products, and the last tool that is in the pouch is this corner miter tool, and it has a little section here that slides onto your corner just like so. Grab yourself the craft knife and then go across just like that. Okay, that's going to give you the perfect what's the word, overlap or excess there for you to wrap your corner, so that it's not going to be too bulky and it's not going to be exposed as well. I mean, You can make this without this toolkit. The toolkit just really speeds everything up and gives you really accurate cuts. If you've been doing this many years, you'll be a pro at doing the corners. There we go. Those are all the corners done. Right, so now let's start folding. There we go. And I'm also going to be using glue with this as well. Oops, I went a bit funny there. I wasn't standing up. I like to stand up, but when I film, I like to sit down. There we go. Right, let's add more glue. I'm going to take off all of these bits of tape first. Try not to get your arm on any of them. And then I'm just going to add glue all the way over, just like that, right up to the corner, and then press that down. Bone folder again and press that down. I have a little bit of lifting here where my cardstock has cracked, but just press that down, it should be alright. You can add some more glue just to keep that down as well. It's because I've got 2 layers here of cardstock, so the outer layer really has to stretch around that. So that is one of the things when you join the cardstocks together, is you get that little bit of a risk there of that happening. It seems to be okay on this side. Okay, next stage is squooshing in these corners. I'm just going with my bond folder and folding them inwards and flattening them, but also folding them inwards at the same time. There we go. And do that on all 4 of these. Now doing this will give you the perfect wrapped corners. Okay, add more glue. It's perfectly fine to add glue on top of your tape. Don't worry about that, it will still be sticky. Okay, so now we have all of our wrapped corners there. As you can see, that looks really good, and we have our join in the middle, and that is going to be hidden when we do our mats. Right, let's get a measurement now for the mats, because I haven't pre-measured this, because this is the first one I'm making, so I'm making this as we go along. So you need to cut a piece of pattern cardstock at 8.5 by 7 3/4, and I'm going to use this poinsettia, and I have enough, which is good. So I'm using the digital version of this. The physical paper pad sold out many moons ago, but we've now brought it back as a digital, so you can print off all your favourite pieces as well. So this doesn't look straight. No, it is straight now. So let's cut this at 7 3/4 by 8. Now that's telling me that the height for our mats is going to be 8 inches. I just need to get a measurement now for the inside. Sorry, for the either end and then the spine, but I'm going to measure that after. Oh no, it was 8.5, wasn't it? So this is what happens when you don't write it down. let's print one more. That's the beauty of it. Right, so whilst that is printing out, I may have changed my choice colours of patterns there, but while that is printing out, I thought I'd show you my next medal. Now, I recently shown you my Lord of the Rings challenge that I did, but I've just finished the Amalfi Coast. It's 35 miles, which is 56 kilometres, and this is my medal. I absolutely love it. It actually opens up. It's quite interactive. It's got all this lovely detail here. And this has a tiny little booklet with Amalfi paper. This isn't real Amalfi paper, but it's got a little booklet there on the history. There is one paper mill left in the Amalfi area. I think you can visit it as well. It's a place where I would really love to go and actually get some of the real paper. And we get this little map here. That's going to pop straight back into there. And then on the back we have this lovely little image there, which is very iconic to that coastline, as well, like Positano and other little towns there. And I'm thinking I might pop this into its own little thing. I'm not sure yet, because they do give you postcards and things that you can print off, and I'm thinking this is going to go really well with the Sicilian summer gift that comes with Papercraft Essentials. Which issue is it? 226. Look at this. Folds out, and you've got all of these beautiful things in here as well. I'm thinking that's going to work really well with my medal, so I'm going to make something for my medal and my little printables as well, because it gives you a little certificate that you can print off too. So that is one of my next projects, probably after all this Christmas in July fun is gone. Something to do for August. Right, that has finished printing. Let's get this right. So I've just seen that my cyan, which is the blue ink on my eco tank, needs a refill, so I'm going to probably redo all of my inks. If you know, I have an eco tank and I absolutely love it. It comes with liquid inks, and you know, you don't really have to fill it up very often. I think the last time I've done it was just over a year ago, which is pretty good. Right, I think I got the right measurements this time. Yay! Okay, one last little trick is I'm going to add tape to either side of these joins. And this is the place where when you open and close your book, it's the place where it naturally wants to lift up. So the more placed down it is, the better. Now I am aware my paper is probably going to go about as high as that, so we should be okay. There we go. Bone folder again. Press it all down. And then lift it all up. Right, the rest I can use glue for, so let's move that aside before I stick that to something that I don't want to stick it to. These things happen normally when you're live on TV or recording. And then just pop that down. There we go, foam folder again. You can do that, or you can use the squidgy tool. Keep this away from anyone that does the decorating in your life. keep it a secret, otherwise they might nab it for when they're doing the poly filler or something. So yeah, keep that hidden. Okay, so now we're ready to start folding up. So grab my ruler here, and I'm just going to gently lift this up on one side. I can see now where that fold is, so I'm going to use this just to help me get this up, and I'm only going to like a 90-degree angle, maybe just slightly over, and you can see here it's lifting, so keep pushing that down. Again, if you want to go around the perimeter of this paper with some red tape, that would be extra useful for you. And then we're just going to lift this up on this side, just the same. There we go. And then go in with your bone folder again, just pushing in all of those little lifts there that come up. Really have to tell the paper who is boss and what you want it to do. There we go. There is our little book. That is now ready to go. So let's get our boxes. These are going to go in just like that. This is our dry run. There we go. We've got a little bit of space here, probably about 1/4 of an inch. So you can actually put a few dimensional things on the top there, so it's not going, you know, flush straight onto the top. Oh, we have a little accident here. That's come undone. I don't think I got it stuck there fast enough before it dried. So let's get that put back together again. There we go. So I'm going to probably put this one in the middle and set that aside to dry again, and we'll work with these two. Again, it's optional if you want to mat these. I will leave the cutting guide for the mats in the description box. The description box does get quite full, so if there's no room for them on there, because sometimes you are limited to how many characters you're allowed to use, so definitely check out my website. The link for that is down below, and that link will take you straight to the project page, so you don't have to go searching for it. Right, let's glue these boxes on. So I want them all to open on the bottom edge, and I'm just going to pop these here. I'm going to do the top and bottom and then put the middle one in afterwards, so I'll be able to line that up. So let's do the next one. Okay, so with this project, the most time consuming part is actually making the wrapped cover. Okay, there we go. Let's get the last one in now. Okay, so I'm aware that this video is taking rather a long time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut all the mats for the front spine and the back, and then I'll possibly even decorate the tops as well, and then I'll be right back to show you the finished project. And don't worry, the cutting guide for everything that I'll be doing off camera as well will be down below, so it'll be nice and easy to find. And I'll be using this die set to decorate with, which is this one. I think this is half price at the moment, so this is the Christmas Words die set, and I'll be using the tag for that as well. Okay, so here it is. I've added some ribbon underneath these mats here. That's really simple to do, just with a bit of double-sided tape there, and you can tie that. I'll tie that tighter. I just wanted it quickly closed there so I could add the rest. So I've done my tag, Joy to the World. I've lifted them up onto some foam adhesive squares there, and now I'm just going to add some finishing touches to the centres of these poinsettias, and I have this from Chloe's Cards. I'm going to be using, I think, these clear diamantes, and I'm going to be using this We Are Memory Keepers. I love this, the quick stick. It's got this gooey thing on the end there that picks up the gems so that you can pop them down. So I really love that. So I'm just going to do a little dab of glue onto each poinsettia, and then I'll decide whether I've got 3 sizes here of the diamantes, so I'm going to decide as I go along which size I'm going to use. So that is the medium. Probably go for a large one for this one up here. Having a nice varied size throughout your project really does add that little bit of interest. It really does make that huge bit of difference. Come on, there we go. See how that's looking so far? I love that, I really do. Okay, let's go for a big one again. Medium here, and then a little small one at the bottom. And the great thing about this is you can twist it. You can take this off if that comes off. It can fall off after a few uses, but you just screw it slightly and then a little bit more comes out. There we go. If I forget to link this, let me know in the comments and then I'll add it. There's always something I forget, but luckily someone reminds me and then I can add it. Okay, where's the lid for this? There it is. Okay, so I do need to mat the boxes, but I'll make sure that is all matted, ready for the photograph. And I also need to trim my ribbon off as well. I did make it a bit long, but it's always good to have it that little bit too long. Okay, so there is today's project. I absolutely love this. And there are 3 boxes inside for you to put your goodies and your treats, and you can pop a few sentiments here or another Merry Christmas on the inside there. And this project doesn't have to be just for Christmas, it can be for any time of year. So these all open up like that. There we go. So we have enough room in here for lots of different treats. I love that. And if the holes bother you on the side, you can literally just mat them with patterned paper, and I will leave that cutting guide down below. So all I have to do now is just mat the top, and then I'm finished. So thank you very much for joining me today. Please subscribe down below. I also have a secondary channel dedicated just to Simply Made Crafts. So if you love Simply Made Crafts, then please join me over there. That's Simply Made Crafts with Helen Griffin, and I will leave that link down below so you don't miss anything. And yeah, give me a thumbs up if you like this one. Subscribe down in the corner there, because it's Christmas in July and you know I'm going to have loads of videos out this month. So thank you very much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.